Hello, friends, both old and new. I am John St. Baptiste, and this is Music Makes the People Come Together, where we share amazing and eclectic music with amazing and eclectic people like yourselves. This is this week's playlist. Playlist always is alluded to by the track of the week, which comes up in the teaser on Thursday, and that kind of gives you a hint to the theme of the week. The song that we did was Pets by Porno for Pyros. And if you want to check out the creation for that, just drop to the description down below and you can see it. Also in the description down below is the playlist. So if you just want to check the music out, come back for the curation, that's fine. Feel more than free. Please, if you'd be so kind, hit that like button on your way out. And when you come back, if you enjoy it, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so that you know when I put new stuff up. So we're going to go right into this week's theme, which is social commentary using animal imagery. Now that seems pretty complex, but this has been done quite a bit in music. This has actually been done in music since probably the Renaissance era, definitely since the operatic era. And it is really prolific in a lot of music in the past 40 or 50 years. I'm going to give the caveat right now. I do not necessarily agree with all the statements that are made, but I just think this is great music that happens to have that factor that ties it together. So, as I said, if you want to check out the track of the week, look right there, and we're going to go right into the rest of the playlist. Full track for this week. Full track is always a full album, DJ set, or concert. And this week we were doing Pink Floyd's Animals. It was their 1977 album. I believe it was their 10th, if I remember correctly. And it was concept album. Roger Waters had originally gotten the idea from Animal Farm by George Orwell, which gave some political views involving animals. And it kind of gave him a concept. He was more talking about what was going on in the UK with social and political things at the time. But whether you know about all of that, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, this is an amazing album and it is totally worth checking out, especially because if you listen to it as a complete album, it is dark and it is scary and it is disturbing, but it is bookended at the beginning and end with hope. It's definitely something worth checking it out. The cover that kicks ass for this week is the Superhumanoids, a synth pop trio from LA. And this is their cover of Nine Inch Nails' March of the Pigs. Now, if you have heard the original of this is so phenomenally different. It's absolute opposite end of the spectrum. As opposed to hard and industrial and pounding and banging and in your face. Which that entire album that this track came off of, 1994's The Downward Spiral. This is very atmospheric and light. And as I said, it's total opposite of the original track, and it's also so juxtaposed with the lyrics that are being spoken. This is on their album called Exhibitionists, B-Sides, and Remixes, and it is definitely worth checking out. If you're a Nine Inch Nails fan, or even if you're not, it's some really good stuff. So I hope you enjoy that. The Stick This Thing in the Socket track for this week, which is always electronic music. This is Martin Garrix, who is a Dutch artist. He does what's called Big Room House, and that is a subgenre of house. It's electronic music. This track was actually huge when it came out. It came out in 2013. Tiezzo was a huge supporter of him and actually helped his career take off. And if you know anything about electronic music, that's some major props giving. So hope you dig that. The track's called Animals, and I included the original music video. I'm going to let you make your own assumptions about what it means, but definitely please watch the video while you're listening to the track because it gives you an entire different perspective on it. And I, as a curator, would like you, as the viewer, to really, really think about that. Now, we always do a playlist that is thematically based with a certain genre. I've been asking for people to throw out genres to me, and we finished up Brass and Green and All Between, which was all ska music, and nobody's thrown anything new at me, so I decided to do one on my own. Some of the music that I really love, and I know a lot of my subscribers really love, which is industrial music. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. This is the new playlist. It's called Stuck in the Gears, and it's all industrial. First track is the Revolting Cocks doing Cattle Grind. Now this is cool because it's a live recording from 1987. Revolting Cocks slash Ministry slash... Al Jorgensen has touched so much of what's industrial music. This is actually a really good intro to it. This is the harder end of industrial music. There are so many places that the genre goes, but definitely listen to it and check it out. It is basically lyrically using BDSM and slaughterhouse imagery to talk about social nihilism and ennui and angst. And I really hope you enjoy it. It's off their album Beers, Steers, and Queers, which goes everywhere from funny to absolutely disturbing and contemplative. So, yeah, really good stuff. Hope you dig on that. The other is the band Perfect Circle, which is, once again, someone who has a million projects. I don't know how they keep all these balls in the air. But this is a Perfect Circle, which is one of Maynard Keynes' projects. And this is Counting Buddies Like Sheep to the Rhythm of War Drums. Now, I did not include the original music video because for some people it might be offensive. It has a lot of early 2000s political imagery, and I'm going to leave that for you to look up for yourself if you would like to check it out. But I did not feel it was right to go ahead and include it here in this space on my channel. But you can find it. Just type it in. Just type in the title, original music video, and you can find it. It's anti-war, anti-corruption, and it's an anti-war song done to a marching military beat, which the irony of that, whether you agree with the statements made, whether you don't agree with the statements made, whether you agree with the music, whether you agree with the message, the brilliance of doing something like that is really freaking cool. And it's off their album Emotive, which came out in 2004. Finally, we're getting down to the bonus track. I always throw out a bonus track just so you folks can enjoy some extra bonus music. And this is The Stooges, Iggy Pop's original band. It's from their 1979 self-titled classic. And this is Now I Want to Be Your Dog. Now, this is a song that touches everything from addiction to physical abuse and disillusionment. And once again, BDSM. There's a bit of a theme there. But it has such a big social message. And this was so far ahead of its time for when it came out. And so different from what people were putting out at the time. I mean, we're talking about the time of the Strawberry Alarm Clock and the Grateful Dead and the Jefferson Airplane. All bands do I love, but what the Stooges were doing was like so far over here. These are the godparents of punk. Like, there's a reason they're called that. And they were doing this back in 1969. Same year Woodstock happened. Like, think about that while you're listening to this, because you think about this and yeah, it's just great music, great stuff for you to love. So there's the playlist. Social issues talked about through animal imagery. I hope you enjoy it. Uh, we're going to go ahead and, before you drop out of here and before I head out, talk about the trivia. Now, last week's trivia, nobody answered, unfortunately. The question was Johnette Nepeltiana from Concrete Blonde was in another band. And part one of the question was, what was that band called? And part two was, where did they come from? Johnette formed a band with all the members of the Talking Heads, save Dave Byrne. And it was called No Talking, Just Heads. Just Head. And the original band was the Talking Heads. Great album if you can find it. It's pretty rare and obscure, but it's a good album and really fun to listen to. And I like anything involving Johnette because I'm her original fanboy. So, trivia question for this week, and I really hope somebody can answer it. Let's see. The theme track for this week was Porno for Pyros, which involved two of the original members of Jane's Addiction, Perkins and Pharrell. So, eventually, the members of Jane's Addiction all got back together and did a reunion tour. And they did it with another band. The trivia question for this week was, and this was in 1999, if that helps. Trivia question for this week is, who was that band who they did that tour with? And bonus points if you know what the tour was called. If you can do that, you'll get the smooch for this week. You'll also get a bonus track. Also, I know there are a few people I owe bonus tracks to. They will be caught up within the next 2 days. I promise. Absolutely promise. Things going on with the channel. I'm cleaning up a lot of stuff. Also, what's really cool is that Sly the Tank Benjamin and Brand the Bearded Builder and I are all getting together to start a series. I think it's going to be bi-weekly, of either streams or podcasts, we haven't decided, that are going to be our musical interpretations of characters from Game of Thrones. So that's going to be, I believe, popping up this Thursday. And I'll get you some more information on that. But I hope you enjoy checking it out. I'm going to go ahead and shout out some people who support me and have supported my channel on theirs. And I just want to give my thanks back. Obviously, Slide the Tank Benjamin and Brand the Bearded Builder, who are doing this new project with me. We also have Indie Geek, a Pack Mule, the granddaddy of the entire scene. Our Red Sox fan, Entertainment Hacker, who just recently had me on his channel. Check it out. Lawrence Corner. And, of course, my co-host, Johnny B. Crazy, at Cylon Johns, who has done so much to support me and my music and what I have to do here. So please check out all of their channels. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. In the meantime, if you would please be so kind, be excellent to one another, and party on.